We are in Old Town, Idaho, way up north, almost to Canada, at Modco 4-wheel drive.
You can literally smell the maple syrup running down the trees up here. We're so close to Canada.
It's an old-timey 4-wheel drive shop, been around forever. They do gears and transmissions and transfer case and specialize in all that drivetrain stuff. But they have such a good amount of cool stuff hiding in the woods, parts and trucks and tires and all sorts of stuff.
A Pacer.
We're building a Pacer.
Yes.
You say it like you mean it. We're building a Pacer. It's got a 258 in it.
Okay.
NP 435 to go behind it, a Bronco Dana 20, and we're doing a Rubicon 44 front out of a TJ.
So we're really building a Pacer?
We're building a Pacer.
I love it! Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Ah!
And the doors are frozen shut.
Does it run? Let me guess.
It ran when
parked. If there was a yard full of hundreds and hundreds of really cool 4x4s, this would be the vehicle that I would assume Dave would pick.
You asked if it was something I wanted or something you wanted. I couldn't tell you because it would have been a dead giveaway.
This thing's already been off-road.
I know, the whole bottom's all beat up.
Well, it's got an electric overdrive, and you can see where the rear drive shaft's got some grass or something wrapped around it.
Yeah. Hard telling what this thing has done. I know it's about to do, though. Get wrecked. All right, yesterday was teardown, so today is getting the meat and potatoes figured out on this thing.
We're pretty much down to a body and an engine.
Yep.
And even the engine that's in there, we still have to strip down because we're not using the fuel system that's on it, the ignition system that's on it, and we're gonna replace a bunch of the accessories.
Yep. I say we button up these axles. We started on these already. We did a 410 gear set in the rear and put this grip lock in it.
So this is a 44 out of a
Cherokee.
And this is a 44 out of a
TJ Rubicon.
So it's a good set of axles right here.
Yeah.
But this is offset to the driver's side.
Yep.
So how are we gonna deal with that?
We got a Dana 20 out of a Bronco. So it's a driver's side drop Dana 20.
Something tells me these aren't very common.
No, we scored some goodies at Ben's place. Like all of these things are not super common. Like
and then that's a NP 435?
Yeah, it's a Dodge NP 435, so it's got granny low, but it's got no overdrive, but the math should all work out to where this thing has a good crawl ratio and will go down the highway.
With 35s.
Yeah, so we need to button up. We gotta put those chromoly shafts in this, button that up, do the brakes, so these are like done, ready to go.
And start gutting the interior so that we can cut a hole to put the shifter in the floor, because that used to be a column shift.
Yeah.
And keep cutting more stuff off of that front K number so that we can stuff an axle under there.
I was a little worried because this axle is like the same width as the stock axle, but the leaf springs are out farther. It seems like it'll be good. Tire will probably rub a little at articulation, but when we're just doing donuts, it'll be cool.
The rear axle is hanging off the leaf springs, so now we're going to move to the transmission and transfer case. We need to drill a hole or cut a hole in the floor for the shifters. So rather than eyeball it, we are going to measure off the bell housing. Should be about 11 inches from the back of the engine to the on center on the shifter. This is the Dana 44 out of a Jeep TJ Rubicon. It's actually a low pinion, but it has all the link brackets for a front 4-link with a track bar. Ben found a lift kit for an XJ, which uses like a kind of radius arm design. So the nice thing is this has a whole cross member that this attaches to on the frame. It probably won't just bolt right into our AMC Pacer, but we can cut and modify it to fit underneath and around the transmission. Then we have to get the airbags or coilover shocks or some sort of spring up here to support the weight. If we're lucky. It's all gonna just fall right together just like we planned, just like Dave planned.
Our whole suspension plan kind of went out the window when we didn't get some of our parts in time, so I had to steal from my personal stash. This is all stuff that's supposed to go on my Ford truck. These are an airlift 2,600 pound airbag, which is also a spring. I'm making some custom brackets to get that underneath that frame rail. Got some shocks that are for my truck that aren't gonna go on it anymore, and these are the shock towers that came off my old F350. This is sort of a trick shock mount that people have been using for a long time on rock crawlers.
So, how much air do you put in this? How much air pressure?
It depends. The air pressure determines the height. So you set it to where you like your height and you run it.
So will this have like a controller that you can raise it up and down?
I'm just gonna do them to a Schrader valve and we'll air it up to where we like it and run it.
How much travel will this make?
These compress to 3 inches and they extend to 12, so it's a 9-inch travel.
Dave has put airbags on lots of things. I have never built something with airbags, so I'm kind of excited to see how this works out.
I like them. It's gonna be good. On a car this light, they might ride a little stiff, but it should be good.
All right, we have a lot of the big parts in on this conversion, but now we're down to all these little things that are fighting us. We're trying to start making sure that the EFI is ready to run fuel to the engine, checking the fuel pump. So the fuel pump is grounded. Now we're gonna make sure that all of the controller is plugged in and all the wires are hooked up the way they're supposed to be. So we're getting closer and closer to cranking it over. We're gonna have to put some fuel in this tank eventually. And Dave is underneath there yelling at some hardware. But this is kind of the way it works. You get all these big parts in, and then you have to fit all the little stuff in around it.
They say the last 20% takes 80% of the time.
Fuel injection is hooked up, the fuel pump is hooked up, the fuel lines are hooked up, the battery's hooked up. We don't have coolant, we don't have any belts or anything. So we're just gonna see if it'll crank over and maybe it'll kick and start. Do it, Ben. We'll do more of this tomorrow. Now it smells like an old stinky car. I feel good about this. We're gonna use a CV drive shaft, which means the pinion actually points right at the output of the transfer case. And we went out in the yard to look around and try and find a drive shaft. Ben has a bunch of different parts here at Modco, and we found a drive shaft out of a TJ. This is too long, but what we'll do is we'll cut this weld out and then be able to take the slip spline and cut the tube back a little bit and then put it back in and weld it up. The larger tubes seem to be able to spin with less vibration. That's why a lot of late model trucks have really big drive shafts in them, but there's more options out there. Dave, surprise me with the tires.
Look what I got!
Boggers!
Boggers and chrome steelies.
Boggers is exactly the perfect tire for an AMC Pacer.
Yeah, check these things out. They're 35, 1450, 15s. They got some chrome wagon spokes. This thing's gonna be rad. We found out that the Pacer, like part of why they were cool back in the days, because they were so wide and stable. Well, it turns out they're like wider than a Cherokee, and we're using Cherokee axles.
So that means we get to go back to one of our favorite things to use, wheel spacers.
Lame.
But if you're gonna use wheel spacers, get the ones from Spider Tracks. They're awesome, they're made in America, they're pretty beefy, they come with Loctite and lug nuts and just about everything you need.
So, we think these will fit. We're gonna end up trimming a little bit here and a little bit there, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. They'll probably rub in there a little bit. We're probably just gonna have all sorts of fun with this car. The tires look good though, and looking good is half the battle.
Right. We need all the help we can get. Looking good. Coolant hoses all need hooked up, and it needs a shifter. The shifter is going to have to go up underneath the dash. And put the seats back in. Bolt the front tires on, and we're going to go four-wheeling. We're going to drive this thing out of the shop tonight.
running our 4x4 car.
We stayed late last night and we worked on the clutch and we worked on the brakes and we worked on everything. Steering, and we finished it all up. We put the hood on. Oh, it's really bouncy.
It's fine. Lowrider. What do we got?
We got a hill climb.
2-wheel drive hill climb or 4-wheel drive? Let's try it in 2.
Okay. Go, Pacer!
The locker is working?
Yeah, it is.
Rock crawl a car.
You got granny low range.
Piece of kick. Let's go find some harder stuff.
I thought you were gonna like hill kill that one.
Let's go hill kill this one. So when we built this thing, the exhaust was like the very last thing we did, and we didn't do it very well. So I'm gonna finish what I started, put a muffler on here, do something cool with it, and then we will work our way forward and figure out what that death wobble was all about that this thing had before. Since the Pacer was never meant to be an off-road vehicle, there isn't very much protection underneath the radiator, so I'm gonna do like kind of a little skid plate that comes off the bottom of the front bumper. This bottom part will protect the radiator, and then I'll do another hoop that'll put some off-road lights on the front. So should look pretty sporty in the front.
I say we go back inside and try one more thing.
This is dumb.
Come with me, little buddy.
Did I win?
You did a really good job, buddy.
Can we go rock crawling now?
Yeah, let's get out of this town and go find some real dirt.
Sounds good. And lock the front up and see if it helps.
Nice one. There he goes. Looking good. Doing a good job. Oh, there he goes. So he'll probably try to go a little bit more driver this time so he doesn't hang that passenger tire off that rock. Professional driver, he'll walk right through it this time. Yep, there he goes. Come on, come on, little buddy. Yep, flexing her out, showing off. Yep, oh, look at that. Coming right through there. Driving over drive shaft alley. Walking her right up on there, like a pro. Just like I taught him.
I drove up the hill, Fred.
I'll see you at the top.
Come on, transmission.
So my transmission likes to pop out of gear.
There you go. If my math is right, I should get right on top of this ice like slick right when it's starting to try and pull you up the hill.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully it doesn't like rip your rear axle out and then I roll back down backwards.
That trail stop, yeah.
Okie doke, I'll see you at the top.
Here we go.
Thanks, buddy.
Dude, we got the Trars out of storage. We had some fun.
We took them to Detroit. We went warehouse wheeling.
Oh, geez.
We came to Middle Michigan and we played in ice pits.
Yeah.
And I smashed the passenger side off of trees. About right.
Pretty good.
That's it for this Dirt Every Day. We'll see you guys next time.